joke.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Welcome back to another Sunday afternoon episode of Software Explorations. Today we are going to continue working on Terraform, but slight twist in the things that we're working on. So we're going to be implementing MongoDB using Atlas, and we're going to be doing that through Terraform. I have never used Atlas. I've never even put MongoDB in like a production state, but with the Poopy Pants project that we're working on, we're in the process of, like, my tech barbarians in the process of migrating that to a database. We're going to be using Mongo, so that's what we're going to be working on today. But let's stop right there. If you do not know who I am the host of this channel, Tech Coach Ralph, where, as always, we are engineered to win. Like it says right there, engineered to win. Everything that we do, we are around being focused. We are around winning. So just give me a little second here because I am struggle streaming. Like, I have to get the IP address of this computer because I need to connect our sounds, right? So it's a little tricky right now. So let me do a quick Google search. Get IP address on Mac. And let's go to system settings, network. Things always tend to happen at the worst possible moment, but we're going to figure it out. Oh, I know why. It's because okay, I know exactly why that happened. All right, so we're going to choose this one. I did some changes to my internet, and let's see if this is going to work. Let's see, 10.0. So this is the first time I'm connecting the iPad on the new internet connection. So let's see if that's gonna work. And we are gold. Here we go. I didn't get to do this, but
It's time!
it is time. We are about to get the show on the road. So welcome everyone. We are in good spot now. We have our sounds working. We have our lights back there. And it's Sunday, right? It is Sunday. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. You got a lot of things done. Very productive, but getting some relaxing time in there as well. My weekend is going stupendous. So I am so happy to be here with you guys. Thank you so much for everyone who's tuning in. We have a great show lined up for you. Like I already mentioned, we're going to be getting some more into Terraform, but I'm excited to do this today, right? As we start the show, we're going to delete the manually created Elastic Beanstalk and code pipeline and all that stuff. We're going to fully rely on our Terraform one, right? But actually, before we do that, though, we are going to also try to see if we change our Elastic Beanstalk to using a spot instance load balancer to see our spot instance of Elastic of EC2 instances, how that works, right? So we're gonna get into that, but let's get started with the show. Let me get into our agenda. All right. So today is February 25th, 2024. We are heading into our last few days of February. It's like February. I know that February is the shortest month in the year, but it just kind of zoomed by, didn't it? Like, it is so fast. Like, the way that we work every single day, putting in and day out, it makes the time fly by so fast. And that's why time is money. And that's why it's always important to evaluate your time to make sure you are making the most of it. Okay. So let me get our agenda up. And today, like I said, we're going to be doing MongoDB and Elastic Beanstalk stuff. All right. And if anyone tuned into the Netflix Safe Test episode this past Thursday, I am still working on getting a React project to work with it. So hopefully on this coming Thursday, we can go straight into using the Netflix Safe Test to see how that works, right? I think it's going to be pretty promising, but we just got to get our setup right. So as you see I updated the title of the video to expectations, right? So we're going to talk about a little bit about expectations as well, because I think the expectations that we set for ourselves versus what actually happens, they are so out of whack. And so sometimes we just need someone who has been there for a while to level set with you and tell you the reals. All right. So first and foremost, wait a second. I gotta stop it. Whenever I see Mitch here, I have to give a big shout out to my guy, Mitch.
I appreciate you.
Welcome to the show, Mitch. So happy, as always, to have you here. I hope you are having a great weekend and you are prepared to go into an amazing, amazing week. All right, so everyone give it up for Mitch, one of my favorite people around. And I need to make Mitch a mod. Let me see if I can do that. Oh, look at that. You just click on here. I'm not going to put him in timeout. I am going to add as a moderator. And we are going to just drop. Boom. There you go. Mitch is now a standard moderator for the channel. Oh my goodness. All right. Enough sentimental stuff, Mitch. You know how we do around here. All right. So back to our agenda. So first and foremost, shout out to all of the newest subscribers to the channel. Thank you so much for helping us grow, as always. And for the people who have been here for a while, you guys are invaluable to me. I appreciate you guys checking out the videos, showing support, as always. I really appreciate it. And then as well, to the tech barbarians, to the Patreon members, to the members of the channel, the tech mercenaries, right? I really appreciate you all for all your hard work and for your dedication. And I just like to see people working, right? And I just like to see you giving it your all. And, the people that I'm able to connect with, whether those who are trying to get into a certain spot or those who are already there and they're just grinding every day, I really, really enjoy being connected to you guys. So just keep up the good work. And I am rooting for you. Tech Coach Ralph is rooting for you in your corner. And, let's make it happen. All right. Let's make it happen. All right. So let's get into our live show schedule. So the live shows, right? We have our morning shows at 7:15 a.m. Eastern time, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, called Coffee and Kata, where we review some news stories. We have a cup of coffee, we review some news stories, and then we jump into our development work. We are working on Flutter in the mornings to build out our mobile app. I have a list of mobile apps that I want to create, different ideas that come to mind. So the one that we're working on right now is a time cost calculator. We were working on a keto calculator, but I switched to the time cost calculator because I'd already had a web version of that, and I want to do it doing test-driven development, but I needed to learn Flutter. So now we are writing our test, and it's just an amazing time, amazing things are going on in the morning. So if you are awake, which you should be, I would highly recommend you tune into the morning shows where you can see a different type of development work happening. And then we have our Sunday afternoons. Software explorations. We're still working through Terraform. I think we're going to be wrapping up Terraform pretty soon because, I think we're getting to the end of it. I have a few more sections, a few more modules that I want to do, but I think the work that we've done on Terraform is absolutely amazing, and it is pretty easy for us to pick it up now. So probably maybe another month or so working on Terraform before we jump full into DevOps, right? So we're not going to leave. Sunday is going to be dedicated to DevOps and to infrastructure as code and stuff like that. Working on Ansible, working on Packer, working on Docker, Kubernetes, all that stuff, right? That's going to be what Sundays are dedicated to. Why, as a QA engineer, am I so interested in DevOps and all these technologies? Because one, I get to put in infrastructure that is directed towards QA, right? So it's like being a QA architect. But another reason is I love to be on top of these technologies to see how can I use this to better myself, to better the team, to better my tech barbarians, whoever it is, right? And that's going to come, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in the expectations section, right? But yeah, so that's what we're going to continue doing on Sundays. We're going to finish up with Terraform, and they're going to go straight into DevOps, all right? Tuesday nights, we have our Q&A sessions where if you have questions, I'm going to do my best to answer your questions. We had an amazing Tuesday this past Tuesday where tons of questions. Mitch and I were talking like crazy. Like if you've never seen, like if you think Mitch is limited to 6 words per stream, go and check out that Tuesday Q&A session, and we were having a ball. So definitely tune in this coming Tuesday for our Q&A session. Thursday nights, we have software explorations where we are focused on like different automation tools. This past Thursday, did a slight pivot to work on the implementing the Netflix safe test. It didn't go exactly as we wanted, but we just have to find a React. So this is what happened on Thursday, right? I found a React project, this BMI calculator, got it to start up, right? But then when implementing the Netflix safe test repo, then we had some issues. So I'm just trying to find out how to fix it or find something that's going to work with it and go from there. So, we're going to do what we do. We explore, we learn, and we just have some fun. All right. So that's what we're doing. We're going to continue with that this coming Thursday night. And then if it all goes well, the following Thursday, we're going to get back into the calculus coder automation where we're using Playwright, Selenium, and Cypress. All right. So that's the plan. That's what we're looking forward to. All right. So those are our live shows. I'm going to run through it one more time. We're live 6 days out of the week. All right. So Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7:15 a.m. We are doing coffee and kata in the morning. Sunday afternoons, software explorations. We're working through Terraform. Tuesday nights are Q&A sessions. Thursday nights, more software explorations focused more on QA and automation. All right. So shout out to all of the live shows. There is so much content for you to consume, and you might not be interested in QA, but you're interested in DevOps and infrastructure as code. Tune in on Sundays. Maybe you're interested in like the different QA tools. Tune in on Thursdays. Maybe you have questions. Maybe it's like you're more into software engineering, or you just have like different tech questions. Tune in on Tuesdays. And if you are interested in like development and stuff like that, wake up a little bit early and tune in the mornings. Maybe you can listen while you're driving into work. Tune in, and there's something for everyone. So that is the plan. That is my goal, to help you level up in the tech space. All right. Next up, we have our pre-recorded content, right? Mondays, we have candid conversations. Tomorrow, I'm going to be talking about your purpose. What exactly is your purpose, right? I was talking to a friend of mine, and they can't figure out their purpose, right? So I want to have a heart-to-heart, one-on-one with you out there, right? With you, yes, you, right? And I want to help you figure out what your purpose is, right? And you're gonna find it quite interesting the way that I break it down on how to help you find your purpose, right? And you just really want to tune in for that, right? So we're gonna be talking about tomorrow about your purpose, right? Yes, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you out there. Your purpose. Do you know what your purpose is, right? If not, let's find out together. Okay. And then Wednesdays we have software explorations. This past Wednesday, I did an introduction to GRC. It's a cybersecurity topic or sector: governance, risk management, and compliance, right? It is a no-code portion of cybersecurity, so definitely want to check that out. This coming Wednesday, I'm going to dig deeper into the governance of the GRC model, the governance, risk management, and compliance. So if you are interested in cybersecurity, if you're interested in not having to code, definitely want to check that out as we break it down. We're going to break it down, right? So this week is going to be governance. Next week is going to be risk management. And the following week is going to be compliance. And then we're going to talk about the framework. So we're just building it out for the next few weeks to help you level up. Because guess what? All of this still applies to all the aspects of the software development industry. Although it is under cybersecurity, it applies to us all. So I highly recommend you tune in on Wednesday as well. And then we have on Fridays the Bug Bite, where we're just reviewing different software related issues, bugs, etc. And we find out what happened and how it could have been prevented and the root cause. We do a postmortem, we do a root cause analysis. I'm going to start using those terms, right? But we do the root cause analysis, the postmortem, all that good stuff. And we see who it affected, how it affected, and what the companies are doing to rectify that. This coming Friday, we're going to be talking about the AT&T outage that happened this past week, right? It was on Thursday from about 3:30 a.m. all the way into the afternoon before AT&T got back on track. And we're going to read about that. We're going to analyze that, see what happened, all right? So definitely want to tune in for that. And then we have throughout the week, I'm releasing different shorts and we are releasing on Monday through Friday clips from our Q&A show. So you can get that in bite-sized digestible pieces. Sometimes you are so busy you can't tune in for a long show, but I release the content in little pieces so that you can find exactly what you need. All right. So that is our pre-recorded content. One more time real quick. Mondays, Candid Conversations. Wednesdays, Software Explorations, Concepts and Overviews. Fridays, we have the Bug Bite, and then we have shorts and clips from the Q&A show released throughout the week. All right. So give it up for all of that content that is available to you. All right. So let's clap it up. All right. So next up on the agenda, I'm going to just, plug in my friends over at Grammar Hub. It is a Discord where they are doing some great work, helping you learn, reviewing your resume, doing mock interviews to help you prep for your interview, and they have a great networking tool as well, or not tool, but a great network where you can connect with different people on LinkedIn, different industries, and all that good stuff. So they are growing, and you need to get in on Mondays. Every Monday at 6:30 p.m. they have a meeting, and based on the week, that determines the topic of the meeting. But it is so helpful, where you can even jump in on a project and get plugged in. So if you are interested in QA, because there are not many people in QA in there. If you're interested in QA and you wanna, I would say, because I'm gonna advocate for this, right? If you want to find a way to jump on a project, a development project where you can start applying your QA knowledge. You might not have the experience, but you want to apply the knowledge that you've gained, maybe in theory. That might be a good place that you can jump in on to work on a project with a group of people where you can leverage what you've been learning. All right. So if you're interested in that, send me a message. Say I'm interested in the chat, right? And we can see what we can do. Maybe I can get you plugged in to a group in there where you can start practicing what you've been learning. All right. So that is the plan, right? So I'm going to drop the link in the chat so that you can find a way to get there and you can level up your skills. All right. So let me put it right about here. Boom. All right. So join the Discord and let them know that Tech Coach Ralph sent you and you can level up your skills. And I'm still working on getting one of the founders of Grammar Hub to come onto the channel where we can have a chat and you can hear straight from his mouth about what their plan is, what their vision is, and why they do the things that they do. All right. I went to a meetup with them last week and it was absolutely phenomenal. Great conversations, great people. So definitely, especially if you're in the South Florida area, a lot of them are in the South Florida area. So I would definitely recommend you checking that out and joining Grammar Hub Discord. All right. So next up, as always, you should go ahead and check out my friend's GitHub Chaos Camp, right? Let me get the link because this stupid bot, right? I think it's on vacation all the time now. I don't know what's going on with it, but I will drop the link myself. My friend Don creates these amazing challenges to help you level up your technical skills, whether you are a developer or you are interested in QA. Okay. So let me drop that link for you. And you go ahead and check out the Chaos Camp GitHub. Always going to support my brother Don and the work that he does at Chaos Camp, and he gets absolutely nothing for it, but he just wants to create these challenges to help you get better, right? He is an amazing person, okay? All right, so that is where we're at. Let's talk about expectations, right? So if you haven't done so yet, before we get into the talk of expectations, and we're going to check the chat too before we talk about expectations, right? But do me a favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every single time that we go live. And if you are looking for one-on-one coaching with me, go ahead to www.techcoachralph.dev where you can sign up to get access to exclusive content that is not on YouTube. And you can sign up for exclusive live streams where I am going into maybe my updating my resume, updating my LinkedIn, we're going to be having a live stream that's going to be talking about how to get set up into how to work in an agile environment for your day-to-day life, as well as we are going to be talking about and then if you need like one-on-one coaching, you can sign up for a higher tier plan where you can get access to put time on my calendar on a monthly basis, and we can work from there, right? So definitely want you to check that out. All right, let me see. All right, cool. So just wanted to check for any messages. All right, let's get a sip. All right, so let's check the chat real quick, and I will then talk about expectations before we get into our coding work, right? So Mitch said, you definitely be working. I didn't realize you streamed every day until you mentioned it yesterday. yeah. So this is what happens, right? It doesn't feel like I stream every day because when I stream in the morning, like I mostly think about streaming at night as a streaming, but I do stream in the morning on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So it does turn out to be like every day except for Saturday, unless I need to do a special stream on a Saturday. But yeah, it does it doesn't feel that way because I think about it more at night. But doing the morning shows, I do end up being on just about every day, you know. and those mangoes, oh my goodness, like mango season is coming. Around end of May, beginning of June, the tree is going to be flourishing. I would post a picture of it, but I'm afraid people might start showing up. The best mangoes in the world. All right, so I'll connect with you, Mitch, and I'll have to send you some. All right, I have to send you some. All right, let's see. All right, and Mitch said, of course, like, comment, share, and subscribe. All right, so let's talk about expectations real quick before we get into our work session, okay? So, it says you might need to send some to New Jersey. Consider it done, all right? I got you. Let's do one of these, all right?
Let's get it.
All right, I got you, Mitch. To New Jersey it is. Okay, so expectations. Here's the thing, right? I don't know what people have in their mind, right? People want to be given a chance, but it's like, all right, so I'll give you one example, right? I was scrolling through Reddit, right? Like on Reddit, I'm always like, that's where I get a lot of my questions from. I'm subscribed to like the software testing channel, to the quality assurance channel or subreddit, and I saw a post where somebody says, I'm looking for a boot camp that offers placement, and they let me just read it. Actually, let me just read it because like it's just because I could have saved this for like Tuesday, but I just wanted to have this brief conversation about expectations because it's like I really wonder what's going through people's mind when they come up with this stuff, right? So yeah, like there's a post right here that's titled "Help Me," right? But so this was the post, right? It says, help me to find a good and trusted QA training with placement centers in and around some location in Canada, right? Mississauga or something like that, right? And they say like, I'm a newbie into IT and learn manual testing and looking to develop knowledge in automation. Please help me find a trusted training center with placement assistance with reasonable pricing. Please share a good, bad experience you've had in some GTA thing, right? I don't know what that means. But here's the thing. What like, and I had to ask, right? What do you mean by placement? Like, is it like for them to place you in a job? Because maybe people don't do their research well enough, because when like in the past 8 to 9 months that I've been like talking to like different people especially a lot who've been to boot camps, there is like boot camps are not going to place you in a job. It's just impossible, right? Like I think the boot camps do a somewhat decent job giving you like the basic knowledge and stuff like that, but they do not prepare you to work whatsoever, right? You are so unprepared. And so like when I see all these people talking about, oh, if I could just get a chance, I could just get a chance, I should just get a chance. And it's not the hiring company's fault that the boot camps have oversaturated the market with skills that are needed in 2005. We're like, it's like the skills that they're implementing in people are 20 years too late, right? And they don't really teach you how to work in an agile environment. They don't teach you how to use Jira. They don't teach you how to they don't teach you how agile works, like with the different Scrum ceremonies and stuff like that. 90%, like there's a 98.72% chance, right, that the job that you're looking for, you're going to be using the Scrum framework, or you're going to be using the Kanban, right? And they might mention it in passing to you, but they don't teach you how to do it, right? So, and then they put you in like some fake internship and stuff like that. So when I asked on this post, like, okay, what exactly do you mean? So I said like placement assistant meaning to help you to place you in a job. I don't think the criteria you're looking for necessarily exists, although I'm not too familiar with your area in Canada. I'm like, everyone I've come across after completing some kind of QA program are severely underqualified to be in QA, let alone in tech. And that is the real for you. Like, that sounds harsh, right? But you're also not paying me $10,000 to lie to you, right? So that I'm gonna tell you the truth, right? I'm going to tell you the truth because, like, I have no vested interest in like to say, oh well, of course you can do it, and that's how like all those not vocational, but like those schools, those for-profit schools, like they'll tell everyone, oh yeah, you're definitely qualified to do this when they know a person is probably not qualified to do it, but the advisor has to get that sale, right? The advisor has to get that sale. And that's their commission. So they're going to tell every single person, oh yeah, like even if you can't even pass the entry test, right? Oh, just keep taking it until you barely pass it, right? And then you become miserable. So back to the boot camp though, right? Back to the boot camp. Like I said, 98.72% of people I come across who have taken some type of boot camp, they are severely underqualified for the roles that they're applying for. And now you have all these people who are like, these boot camps have cohorts every 6 weeks, new people. And there's just not that many jobs out there, especially in QA, right? Software development, like it's close to as bad, but the thing is like, I don't know if the demand for software developers is growing as what the boot camps are putting out. I always recommend like, hey, as you're learning this stuff, start trying to get ideas to create your own stuff, right? But now, like in QA, is just like you can't really create your own stuff in QA, right? So I try to recommend like, hey, find a project to work on that's actually going to production that you can contribute to, but it is not easy whatsoever, right? And that's the hard truth, right? That is the hard truth. So to keep going, so now someone says. Boot camps have deals with companies to take their graduates and give them their first jobs. That is total. I don't like to curse, but that's bullshit. Right? For boot camps to have deals with companies to take their graduates and give them their first jobs. This is what the original poster is looking for. And then they say, are they underqualified, or are companies hiring overqualified people for their testing positions? No, they're underqualified. they're underqualified, like period. Like it's not companies are hiring overqualified people for the testing positions. The concept of being overqualified. Here's what overqualified means, right? And here's why companies don't want to hire overqualified people. The reason you don't want to hire overqualified people is because if you need someone who's like here, and you hire someone here, then the person who's here, they're going to overachieve, and then they're either going to find something, which, like I said before, hiring is very, very expensive. So they're going to go and find something else, and then now you just wasted time and money onboarding this one person here who was overqualified, and they're just going to go somewhere else where they are where they match the level, right? So companies don't hire overqualified people, right? They hire people at the level, or they try to hire the people at the level that they need. So no, you're wrong. They do not the people are severely underqualified, because guess what? I'm not hiring anybody, right? But I talk to them every single day, right? Of people who are trying to get into tech, trying to get in QA, trying to get into software development, trying to get into cybersecurity. And they don't, like, they know some basic knowledge and stuff like that, but they don't know how to work. So you might know like all the 9, 10, 15 different types of testing that's available. You might have studied for the ISTQB and you got a certification. And then I asked you, okay, so how do you do this? Right? And I don't believe it's the company's job to teach you how to do the basics, right? The company's job is to teach you how their system works and what they want you to do there. But like the basics, no, they don't do that, right? And that's why you'll see a lot of students who are in college who are studying computer science or some related field. Then they'll get the internships, like to do like on a software development team, whether they're in QA or engineering, whatever the case may be. But that's what happens, right? So, like I said, they are severely, I said severely underqualified, right? And then, like, so the people who end up signing up with me, then I'm like, all right, so this is where you're at right now. This is what we need to do. These are the skills that you're lacking. And as I put them on, like I put them in stuff that's going to production, right? The stuff that I'm working on to help them get that experience. And it's like we end up going very, very slow, because I'm exposing that here's the things that you are not familiar with, and these are the things that you're going to have to do. This is basic QA, and especially if you're trying to sign up for like some type of small company, whatever you're trying to do, you don't know what you're doing, and I'm trying to now make up for what the boot camps severely missed on, the flaws of the boot camps, so that you can grow and get and get to where you need to be, right? But like I said, severely underqualified, right? So and I've seen companies ask for automation skills on manual roles and for backend or DevOps skills on automation roles. And I think I honestly believe that having backend or DevOps skills for automation roles is not being overqualified. I think see, like I said, a lot of these QA people are still living back in 2005, right? 2005 to 2010. Times change. There's so much new technology. Like you just seen on this past Thursday, we're talking about the Netflix team creating a new framework, right? And one that works through the CI/CD pipeline. So if your testing has to go through the CI/CD pipeline, continuous integration, continuous delivery, right? Then it only makes sense that people who are doing automation needs to know how these things work, and they need to be able to do it, right? Common sense. So as I've been like every time I'm finding the new things, and I'm like they mentioned, like the Netflix information came out like 10, 15 days ago. I pivoted last week and said, okay, we're going to try to jump into this right now, right? The same thing with the Amazon Q chatbot for business, right? We jumped into that, boom, like we're going to try to figure this out. But when you have that mentality of, oh, this and that, and they're asking for automation skills on manual roles. Number one, like I've stopped looking for manual roles on LinkedIn, like on these live streams, because they don't exist, right? You might see one manual tester role here and there, and then you have 20,000 people on LinkedIn applying for it, especially if it's remote, 20,000 people applying for it, because that's the only one that exists. And you have the 20,000 people who took the boot camp applying for it, right? And they probably never hire anybody, because guess what? Somebody applies for it with a little bit of automation that already puts them ahead of the whole 20,000 people, right? So that is the situation that we're in. So going back, what are your expectations, right? So, and this is what I respond to this, right? This is what I responded to the person who responded. I'm like, take this for what it's worth. I've spoken to countless bootcamp grads the past year who are placed in fake, yes, I said fake internships, right? For about 2 weeks, and have someone at that bootcamp create a totally crappy crappy resume. So if you haven't seen my crappy resumes video, go ahead and check that out. So now I have to go ahead and like give these people, the people who reach out to me, this like, hey, this is a general template like from all the bad resumes that I've seen that I say, hey, apply this, and then and once you do that, then I might take another look at your resume. But trying to like get you out of this like defeated mindset of and then they start getting frustrated, they want to quit, and I've seen it from like so many different sectors, right? People who did let's say they took the UI UX boot camp, right? Software development boot camp. They did a QA boot camp, right? Whatever. And I'll tell you this, right? One of my favorite people, that is a subscriber to the channel, one of my like a great person, right? I read their feedback the other day from Sox University, like they're into cybersecurity, and this is what they said. They said, I thought I knew a little something about cybersecurity, but and they were a beta tester for Sox University. They said, but just doing like the lowest priced module, right? They saw how much they actually didn't know and how much help they needed, and how valuable it is to do these real scenario things, because we have someone like Sox who's been in the industry for 20 years, maybe, right? I've been in the tech industry for the past 20, QA for about 15 years. So I've seen the evolutions. I was there when manual testing was needed like that, right? But now it evolved where I do a little bit of manual testing, but I also look for opportunities to automate everything that we're doing, to use Terraform to facilitate our infrastructure and stuff like that. So, and maybe it's my fault that the industry's changed like that, right? The field has changed like that. But I'm going to keep pushing, because I am going to keep my foot on the industry's neck for us to continue to get better, right? We do not participate in the Victim Olympics for software development here, right? We are always moving forward. So my foot is going to be on the neck of the industry. So you are going to need to level up, right? And then to finish this out, I said, then they are unleashed into the workforce without the necessary skills. They go 6 months plus without ever getting an email rejection, let alone an interview, right? So their applications go into the dark space, right? Into a black hole, right? The fact is, the amount of students in boot camps for QA is way more than the demand in the job market, especially with the quality most boot camps produce, right? You better do extensive research on boot camps if they claim they will place you in a manual, because they don't exist, QA job, right? Manual QA jobs do not exist, right? I'll tell you this. I've only heard of one person that actually landed a manual QA job in the past, like since I've been on YouTube, right? One person that I heard of. So, like I said, what are your expectations, right? And then I'll just throw this one more thing in, right? So someone that I'm working with, and I'm like, all right, this is what you need to test and everything like that. And I'm like, all right, so how would you test this? And they were having some trouble trying to figure it out, how they would test something pretty basic. And I'm like, are you familiar with the data types? Not really. I'm like, then you're not ready yet, right? And but that's what you get. Like when I'm coaching you, I'm going to be throwing everything at you, and like a lot of it's gonna hit you, and then you're gonna have to figure it out, right? So that is what I wanted to say about expectations. You need to do way more research than like some random question and hoping, like you're putting your destiny in like. And that's the thing, right? All these boot camps say they have placement. It is a lie, because I have never seen a boot camp find someone a job, right? So if I'm wrong, if you've seen a boot camp that has find someone a job, let me know, and I'll promote them, right? If they're able to get, it's just the concept doesn't make sense to me. How that's even possible, right? If that boot camp, if a company doesn't have their own boot camp to train their own people, but then if that's the case, they won't even need to charge them an egregious amount of money for it, right? So I don't know. You let me know. Maybe I'm off. Let me know what you think, all right? So we're about to get into the show. Let me see what Mitch said. He said, Tech Coach Ralph loves boot camps. And I'll say this, right? I don't have like the knowledge that like from an online course, maybe it's Udemy or Coursera or a boot camp that you get, like the knowledge that you get, right? I'm not saying the knowledge isn't good. It's the way that they get you in there is a part that I see that it's disingenuous, and that and so many people like end up being misled, and they end up spending a lot of money without actually getting to where they want to be, right? So the majority of the people I see, I could be wrong, but every time someone contacts me, oh, it's this, and it's like usually a very common boot camp, and it's like this one, and this is my resume, and like, okay, this sucks, and this is where we're at. I'm like, all right, well, I can try to help you, but you know, my time is limited and my space is limited, so we'll see what we can do, but it's unfortunate. It is truly, truly unfortunate, to be honest with you. All right. So Mitch says most of the boot camps say they will place you in a job, help you get a job. And guess what? When I went to school, like back in 2005, like they said that they would help you place you and stuff like that, which it was probably like more viable at that time. But I found my own thing, and I just went my own way, because I don't think like it's just like they have no control over it, right? If it is not your company, you don't like, you can try to like, but it's just there's not that many jobs out there, and it's based on the needs, right? Especially right now. What is the unemployment rate? It's like 3 point something. So all these people going to these boot camps trying to transition, and there's something I say, right, about expectations. About expectations. Why is it that a job that asks for a 4-year degree, that you think that you can break into that industry just like that, like it just take a 6 week boot camp or whatever, and it's just so easy. Like I'll say you can, like, don't get me wrong, you can break into the industry. Like my intro says that, right? But it is not going to be easy whatsoever. You are fighting from behind, so you're going to have to work 5 times as hard as someone who you might, well, I don't know about it, I don't really know, but who you might have more skills than, but you're going to have to work 5 times as hard because they have the requirements that are being asked for, right? So it's going to take you longer. So I always ask myself, like, what makes you think that you're going to get put in front of the line over someone who actually has the qualifications that are being asked for, even if you have more skills than them, right? So how do you prove that you have more skills? Well, we shall see. All right. And then Mitch says agile versus waterfall methodology, and barely anybody's using the waterfall methodology anymore. I was watching a Robert T. Martin video about that, and it says, but also they rely on the 90-day ramp period if they get the job. So the boot camp plus getting the job, hoping they get at least 90 days. I'll tell you, like, so many, like, before you were part of the channel, I was reading through a boot camp's refund policy. In the first 6 months, you had to put in almost like 400 applications a month, right? I think it was like 90 a week. And in the last 6 months, you had to put in like 200 a week, right? So you needed a total of almost 3,500 applications for the year before you could even qualify for a refund. And I guarantee you, like, let's say on one of the months you were supposed to do 90, or one of the weeks you're supposed to do 90, and you did 89. I bet you that would disqualify you for, like, they're not going to give you your money back, right? They're not going to give you your money back. So I know what they say, but I don't see the results that they're talking about, right? And mentions to the other side of that is a degree or experience, but I agree. Yeah, I always say it is a you're attacking on different levels, right? So I'll say, like, hey, if it's possible, get your degree, right? But at the same time, like, I have somebody that I'm coaching who's like, I don't know, maybe a junior or a sophomore in college or something like that, interested in cybersecurity. They were having trouble with Python. They were having trouble with SQL. I said, you know what? Forget what they're teaching you in school. Go get this course on Udemy. Go get this. Go get these 2 courses. One for Python. One for SQL. Right. And you're going to continue going to school, but you're going to learn on your own through Udemy, and then you're going to apply what you learn to the stuff that you're doing in school, and boom, that is so much easier for them to start picking up on the content because Udemy is a better teacher than your local school, right? You have people who work in the industry and stuff like that, where a lot of people in these community colleges, they're teaching from the book. They have no practical experience, right? I went to community college for my last 2 years of high school, and then some more, right? So like I know they don't really know a lot of times, especially in the tech area, they don't really know what they're talking about. Like my high school, there was a computer program, and they didn't like it was a school in the middle of, I'm not gonna say where, but not the best neighborhood. The teacher who was teaching the computer class didn't really know what he was talking about, right? I knew the stuff better than he did in high school, right? So I'm like, you need to find every single thing that you can, right? In like while you're in high school or college, you take these online courses, learn this stuff. You go to school so that you can just pass and get the degree like that, right? And then once you have that, then like you find different things to work on. You start creating your own stuff. You put it out there in production so people can see you're built like that. And that is a portfolio, right? A portfolio isn't just something that you build and you have it on GitHub and it's your because it's something that nobody cares about. It is out there. It is having users and hopefully it's making you money, right? And that is that full attack from every single direction on what you need to grow. And then you can have the right expectations because you have the knowledge to go with what you are doing. All right. So that is my thoughts on expectations. And I want you to have the right expectations, right? And Rich says, I agree 100%. I guess it depends on the person, case by case. Yeah. Like, and that's why I say like, there's going to be out of 100, maybe out of 1,000, 1 to 5 people who actually get good results. But I think from the majority of what I've seen, just like scrolling on LinkedIn, the amount of complaints about like people who can't get placed and stuff like that, it's a lot. It's a lot more than the people who are probably getting placed from these boot camps, right? And then, so my biggest problem is the amount of money that they have to spend on these things, right? So that's the part that hurts me because I'm like, if you had asked me, I would have told you like, don't go that route for like, don't go spend $10,000 for a manual testing boot camp, right? I can give you a better strategy, and then or like the certifications that like ISTQB, where like people are so reliant on that. I'm like, okay, so what like how would you do this? And they have absolutely no idea, right? So I always preach practical experience over theoretical knowledge all day long. You still need the theory, but don't rely on that theory. You need to rely on getting put in the fire and you working your way out of it and figuring it out. All right. So, gonna wrap that up. Thank you so much for listening to my rant and hearing me figure it out. All right. And one more, which is just for your information. I'm not speaking on boot camps. I mean, in general, I agree with you on boot camps. Oh, yeah, sure. Of course. Got it. Perfect. All right. Let's wrap that up. All right. So let's get to work. Enough talking. Let's get to work. All right. So all right. Let's get our timer up. We are going. So the first thing we're gonna do, I wanted to delete the old stuff, but I'm like, before I delete it, I should definitely try that spot instance stuff. On our break, we will be looking at jobs on LinkedIn. Why not? I don't have anything better to do today on our break, so we'll look at some jobs on LinkedIn. So let's do. Got our timer up. Let me get our app, our IDE open. Read that later. All right, so we are opening this project. And let me switch to the right branch. Get and So what I'm currently working on right now with my tech barbarians in the project that we're building is Dockerizing some stuff for like adding MongoDB, trying to create a Docker Compose file. So we are always working, always building. All right. So added Docker Compose file, and we're gonna do git checkout Terraform. What? Oh, forgot to do that. All right, there we go. All right, so we are gonna get back into Terraform. What we're gonna do is the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to see if I can change this to a spot elastic beanstalk. So let's put our 20 minutes up.
It's time to do.
So I want to see if I can change it to a spot instance, right? So what is a spot instance before we get into that, right? So do I have a good? So AWS Elastic Beanstalk adds support for Amazon EC2 spot instances, right? So it says you can now run your applications on AWS Elastic Beanstalk using Amazon EC2 spot instances. You can add Amazon EC2 spot instances to your environment capacity in both single and load balance environments. Previously, Elastic Beanstalk only supported on-demand and reserved instances. And here's why I want to do that, right? The reason I want to do this is because the EC2 spot instance lets you take advantage of unused EC2 capacity in the AWS cloud. Spot instances are available up to 90% discount compared to on-demand prices. You can use spot instances for various stateless, fault-tolerant, or flexible applications in other test and development workloads. You can add, scale, and manage spot instances in your AWS Elastic Beanstalk environment through the Elastic Beanstalk console, EB, CLI, or Elastic Beanstalk API, right? So what I want to do, I want to try to change that to see what happens, all right? So we are going to apply this. I'm going to see if it's just as easy as changing the name from what we have now to that, right? So let me close all this stuff. And let's open up our Terraform. All right, so we are in Terraform. I wonder if I can just change this. Or maybe I just change this one to the one that we're looking at. Mm. So I'm looking at over here. Let's log into the console, right? So that we can see what it's gonna take. We need authenticator. All right, so let's go to, and we're gonna go to Elastic Beanstalk. So I'm not gonna set up a new one, but I just want to see, and this is the one that we're gonna end up creating as well, deleting as well. this one. But before that we do any of that, I just want to see if I go here. Uh, so I'll probably want this one over here. Let's see if we were to go to here. If we were to try to edit it, if we would have the ability to change it to a spot instance. If we do, then we should be a simple change to should be a simple change in the Terraform code from using a so let's see what we're using here. See on-demand instance, right? If I go here, the maximum price per hour that you're willing to pay for spot instance settings, a custom price limit on your default. Whether enabling capacity rebalancing for spot instances for your auto scaling group. This option is only relevant when enable spot is true. So we don't want to change it here though, but we're just looking around to see that we can change it. So if we were to look at over here, how would we set that up? So it feels like it should be on this one right here, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this right here. And I'm going to try to instant spot type. So let's go and let me see. Look at the documentation. We're gonna need that. All right. So let's go over here. Let's try to put that in there. So we have this, and we have a bunch of errors. Okay. Missing desired capacity, instant spot type, max size, min size, product, region. So let's add those properties then. So now I'm a little bit more worried because all of the stuff that we had before, like we were configuring our load balancer and stuff, now it's like getting errors, but we'll see. So desired capacity. It is so I wish I could put these side by side. Let's see what we can do. Let me see if I can put them side by side so we can read them as we're going through them. All right, so we have, all right, so desired capacity, right? So it says the desired capacity is the desired number of instances that the group should have at any time. So if I say 1 maybe? And we have instant spot type. So instant spot type required one or more instant types to maximize the availability of spot instances. Select as many instances as spot types as possible, right? So let's copy. Thought I had them up here. Let me see. I don't see them in here. Hold on a second. T2 micro. Weird. I thought that would be in here. So let's go ahead and do it ourselves. So if I look at the ones that we currently have, we have let me see if I have T3 in there. Not even. So T3 micro. T3 small. All right. So let's go with those. And then, all right. So now we have max size, min size. So max size, the maximum number of instances the group should have at a time. So I think we had 4 before. 1 here. All right. What's product? Product is Linux, Unix for EC2 classic instances. Let me see what we have existing now. No, it's not Windows. Look here. We have so on-demand 70 AMI availability zone. The only thing I don't see is the product. But I suppose it would be Linux, Unix though. We can go with that. Because the worst that can happen, like when we do Terraform plan, there's going to be some errors, right? So the region is required. Let's go with what is the thing for the secret key? Let's see here. Let's see it. What is, let's see, var dot eight. All right, there you go. All right, so we have this, but now all of these settings aren't working. I wonder if we got to do like both. Because the name of an existing, okay. So let me undo stuff, right? Let me undo stuff because it looks like we have to do, so we go here, we're going to say resource, and that's going to be the spot. Let me see what's the name. Oh, it's right here. spot and what is that like that underscore? Wait a second. Let me just copy it over. So we can call that P. Call it that, right? And now let's do the same thing we were doing before. Add the missing properties. Let's go with 1. Let's go with T3 micro, T3 small, and the max size, let's say 1. All right, so let's see what the name is. With the required group name. Let's go here and we're gonna call that Poopy Pants at Spot. And the product is going to be Linux and Unix. And the region we're going to use var.aws region. We got that part. So now if we're looking at the stuff over here, it says that we have all these, but the name of an existing Elastic Beanstalk. So we're gonna do name, and that's going to be this one. Dot name. And ooh, why is that error? Oh wait, name. Oh no, that's my bad. So this should be Elastic. Oops, where did it go? Elastic Beanstalk environment name. We got that one, and then the ID of an existing Beanstalk environment. So let's throw that one in there too. Go here. Guys aren't even seeing it. I've been working on this the whole time. So what I had to do was I had to redo this by itself, where this should be created, and then it's going to have this Elastic Beanstalk environment run on the Spot instances, right? So that's the goal. I not 100% sure, but we're gonna find out, right? So we have Elastic Beanstalk ID, and that should be AWS Elastic Beanstalk environment dot poopypants dot ID, right? So that is what I'm thinking is going to be happening. We got this, 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 we got this. We don't need a description, do we? Well, we can throw a description in there. Description. Spot instances for PPQ app. All right. Anything else? We got the region, we got the name. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and do a Terraform apply or a Terraform plan to see what happens. CD Terraform plan. the dependency lock. The following dependency selection recorded in the lock file are consistent with the current configuration. Required by this configuration. All right. Typo. All right, let's see what happens. Failed to query available provider packages. Could not retrieve a list of versions. The provider registry Terraform does not have a provider name. Did you intend to use bot? If so, you must specify the source address in each module, which requires that provider. Did you intend to use bot?
Lunch break. Lunch break.
Okay. I mean, I'm looking at the Terraform guide. Did you intend to use spot and spot and if so, you must specify that source address in each module which requires that provider. Let's see real quick. All right, let's go to break. Let's go to break and we'll figure this out upon return. All right, so we are going to go to break, and on break we are going to nope, nothing in the chat. So we are going lunch break. So let's get 5 minutes break on the clock. And let's just go browse through LinkedIn. Put that up here. Lunch break. All right. So let's see what we have going on LinkedIn. Here's a question, right? So many people, they are of the mindset of working remotely. Are you willing to work in the on site to get the job that you want? I know they're always saying, "Oh, work remote, work remote, work remote." But are you willing to work in to work on site to grow into your career, or are you like, "Oh, it's remote or nothing," remote for not not having experience and trying to get a remote job at the same time are conflicting interests, right? Let's take a look at the screen. So I just did a search for manual QA around the United States, right? And let's change it to experience level of entry level. So in the whole United States, manual QA, entry level, 235 jobs to come back, right? Not that many. And when you do quality assurance, it can come up with all types of quality assurance, right? So got to keep that in mind as you filter through the jobs, right? Mitch says no, but honestly, sometimes you have to until you get what you want. And here's the thing, Mitch. For you and I, we can probably land that remote job based on our level of experience. But for someone who's trying to transition into it, especially depending on the industry that you're in too, right? Because my industry, although they want some people in the office, but it's they're not forcing it. And especially based on your location, but if you are trying to get in, you might find yourself in the office because here's the thing. I think that the more green that you are, you want to be around people who you can actually go directly to and ask for help, you know? So just something to consider. These these are not QA jobs. These are these are not QA jobs. So, but that's what you get. So manual QA engineer, right? Let's see what we do with this, right? So this one is in Clearwater, Florida. And I was talking about my favorite person earlier. He says, hey, Sharon says, hey, Tech Coach Ralph, and the chat. Shout out to you, Sharon.
I appreciate you.
Welcome to the show. All right. So let's see. And then Mitch said, I think the real problem is most people were working on site until the pandemic happened. That's what made it popular, even though there were people working remote before the pandemic. Yeah, you're right. And I was in the office. I was in the office before the pandemic, and then never went back after. I went to Nebraska to my company's headquarters back at the beginning of October, and it was fun. But Nebraska is also like the town in Nebraska is also very small, so that's different. Like from like the people I work with, they can get to the office in like 15 minutes. Compared to like when I was working like 20 miles away down here, it was taking me like an hour to get to work, which I absolutely hated. But I mean, if I had to go to the office, like when I was looking for a new job, I was ready to go to the office, but didn't have to. Sharon says, I wouldn't mind being in the office at all for that added hands-on training. Exactly. And that's what, like, especially when you are trying to transition into a field, having people that you can go to, that you can talk to, because there's always going to be people in the office, right? But I think being willing to do that puts you like, it opens up more opportunities. And one of the reasons I always like to look at on site whenever I'm talking to someone, I'm like, look at what's local to you, because there's always going to be far less people who are applying, right? So for instance, this quality assurance engineer position at a biotech company has 90 applicants, right? This one in Illinois, over 100. But this might be remote though, or no, this is on site. This
Get a
one.
move on, back to work, chop chop, let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work, back to work, back to work.
This one 67, right? But let's say we change it to only remote, right? Let's see. I don't know what this is. I don't really believe this job, but let's see. Over 100. If I had LinkedIn Premium, it would tell me exactly how many people applied for it, and it's probably like 200, 300 people. Let's see. Over 100. Jacksonville, over 100. Over 100. 72. Over 100. So that's why I say, like, if you like try to do high, and a lot of times on site, it's most likely going to be hybrid where you can work like 2 to 3 days in the office, the rest at home. They're very flexible, but a lot of times people just want to go straight into remote, and it's also not going to be the best for your career. As you build more experience, then you have a better chance of being remote. But if you're saying it's remote or nothing, then you're probably going to get nothing. And Mitch says Nebraska. Well, yeah, it was Nebraska. But I had a good time. There. Small city, but it was great hanging out with the people that I talk to on Zoom on a daily basis. And Sharon says, my bag. I'm guessing bag. My bad mind. Did you say something about mine? Oh, I wouldn't mind. Okay, gotcha. I know what you meant. And Mitch says he probably works for Warren Buffett. All right, Mitch. I told you that in confidence. All right, I told you that in confidence. um, and it says that's true too. Nowadays, most likely will be hybrid. Yeah, like and like companies like from 10 years ago, they were already starting to be very flexible, being able to VPN into the company and stuff like that. So they were very flexible. But now people are just taking it to extreme. So yeah. All right, let's get back to work. Okay. We are going to continue trying to figure out this spot instance stuff that they're giving us. Um, and I think like I think with your interest in cybersecurity, Sharon, like getting like seeing this type of stuff that I'm working on. It's I'm not sure exactly what part of cybersecurity you are interested in going to, so feel free to drop it in the chat. But like just seeing this type of stuff and hearing the type of work that the software developers and the QA people are doing, right? And it gives you some insight on the things that you're going to be protecting your company from, so you can see the risks and you can say, oh, okay, I think it's very important to know what the different, like you don't need to be an expert in it, but to know what the different parts of the company is doing so you can know what type of protection measures you need to put in place. So although like a lot of this stuff is technology like focus, but everything that we do, there's a cybersecurity aspect to it, there's a QA aspect to it. So like when you're creating like the different policies and stuff that needs to be followed, understanding this stuff is. Did you see my video on my intro to GRC video from this past Wednesday? And I have I'm going to be focused on governance this coming Wednesday. But yeah, but like this is perfect because understanding this stuff is going to help you better like do your policies, understand the risks, and what needs to be in compliance. So very very like awesome. This is perfect. This is perfect. All right, and it says, have you heard of IC2? I think something like that. I think it's a free program. IC2. I haven't heard of it. I haven't heard of it in particular. But if you give me some insight on it or something to search, like to get some more context, I'll be happy to pull it up. Right. But let's put our 20 minutes up.
Let's go! Let's go!
All right, so let's go to let me know when you check it out. Like, you can write me on Discord or leave a comment and we'll chat about it. But yeah, I'm just curious to know to see what you think. That was my first like real introduction to GRC to get a better understanding of it. That one that's the one I told you I didn't pay. IC2 is what you're referring to IC2? Okay, cool. I'll check that out. If you have a link, just drop it in and I'll take a look at it. ISC2. Okay, gotcha. Perfect. Okay, I'll Google it in a second, or on our next break, I'll pull it up and we'll see what that's about. All right. But okay, gotcha. All right, cool. So well, that's why we have Sox University to help with that. All right. So I know next time you're gonna crush it. So let's get to it. All right. So I'm not. Let me see. Could not retrieve the list of available versions for provider. So let's see what's going on here. Terraform. So it has all the configuration, but why did it not? Let's see. No worries. You're probably typing from your phone, and when I'm typing from my phone, I have tons of typos, so we can live with typos. No worries about that. Let me see. Let's see here. Looking at Terraform, but it's I'm looking at the Elastic Beanstalk. Spot instance elastic beanstalk. I don't see why it's not taking it. How do you use? Okay, there we go. How do you use spot instances with? Did I put Terraform? I gotta put Terraform in the name, in the search. Let me see. So it should be this right here. Provides a spot instance AWS group resource using Elastic Beanstalk. So let's see if I comment this out real quick, right? And I do Terraform plan. So my Terraform plan works that way. But if I uncomment this right here, and I do a Terraform plan, I'm getting an inconsistent provider registry spot. That shouldn't be a provider. Mm. Oh, that's why it's like that. Interesting. A Terraform module to install Ocean controller. Interesting. All right, let's see. Why would it be that way? Let's read some GitHub documentation real quick. Mm. So would I have to put him as a provider? That doesn't make any sense because it's supposed to be for provide a spot in AWS group. So maybe I'm choosing the wrong thing. Terraform AWS EC2 instance or spot instance. How to save resources. Spot instance support. Let's see what we got going on here. Elastic Beanstalk now supports spot instances. Allow usage of spot instances. All right, so let's see. So how do you get it in there though? I mean, regardless, we're going to get rid of that other thing, but I would love to be able to change this to a spot instance so that we can save some money. All right, let's see what this is right here. So if I look at my thing over here, and we have our configuration, we have our fleet composition of on-demand instances. So let me comment this out because apparently that's not what we need. So what are our options here in our Elastic Beanstalk environment? So we're going to go back over here and let me search for the word instance. So if we're looking at here, settings, VPC, solution, name, resource, namespace. Let's see, platform ARN, the ARN of the Elastic Beanstalk platform to use in deployment, template name, solution stack, settings, tier, worker, web server. Okay. Required name of application, CNAME preference. Let's see. Let's see. There's got to be something in here. Auto scaling groups. Instances used. All right, so let's see. In our code here. Okay, let's try. All right, so we're using the T3 micro and T3 small. But if we were to edit this code, I'm just doing that on the other screen to try to see what I need to put over here. So we want to do a fleet composition. So let's say Terraform, Elastic, Beanstalk, fleet composition. Let's see if there's something. All right, so AWS EC2 fleet composition. But how do you connect that to? So the question is, how do you connect that to? So we might need to create this, right? But how do we connect that to? How do we connect that to the Elastic Beanstalk? Is what I'm wondering. It would have to be somewhere in here. Let's clear this up. Auto scaling groups. Let's see. Value resource. Options settings. Name. All right. Let's see. Polling interval. Wait for. Let's see what this is. What is the solution stack name? Oh, that's not it. Okay. Yeah, that's not what we're looking for. We already have that configured. Let's see. Let's see option settings. That didn't help us. So attribute reference, description, tier, tag, application, setting. That's what we were just looking at. Let's see. So weird. Terraform, Elastic, Beanstalk, Spot instances. It should just be a simple search like that, right? And that should just get you here. And then you should see, okay, what should I use for my Terraform? Let's see. I don't know. We'll figure that part out later. I'm gonna get rid of this code because I don't think this is necessarily what I need. For now, we'll leave it as is. I'll do some more research. And let's go ahead and let's get rid of this thing over here. We don't need it anymore. Although I could just do it in here, but I'll leave it as. So what we're gonna do this together. We're going to officially hold on to our terraformed one, and we're going to delete the one that we created via, or the one that we did manually back in December. We're going to get the one that we created with the one that we published like last week or 2 weeks ago. We're going to keep that one, and we're going to delete the one that we created manually, right? So that's going to be this one we're deleting. So let's do it. All right. Are you guys ready to delete our manually created to fully rely on our terraformed one? With the terraform one, we can always rebuild it if anything ever happens. So let's get to it. Let's terminate this environment. All right. Fingers crossed, everyone. We are going terminating this environment will also terminate the associated resources. This URL will be released. Any additional resources with this environment will also be terminated. All right. So let's go with, what do we need to type in to terminate? Terminate, type the name of the environment to confirm. So so you are out of there, right? Gone with the wind forever. All right, and now we still have this one. Refresh some more. We are relying on Terraform. The work, the blood, sweat, and tears that we've put back. I don't know if I should say blood, sweat, and tears because last week there was someone who was testifying and they kept referring to their blood, sweat, and tears. And now I don't want to refer to my blood, sweat, and tears. So I'm just going to say my hard work, all right? I don't want to be lumped into that category. So with all the hard work that we put in the past few months, we are now fully reliant on our terraformed code, and we are getting rid of our manually created code. All right. So I repeat, not my blood, sweat, and tears, just my hard work, right? And our hard work, because you've been here with me following along to see how we're going to create this whole deployment process using Terraform and everything like that. All right. So here we are. This should be getting rid of. It is terminating our environment. While it's doing that, let's go ahead and jump over to Route 53 to get rid of our old one as well. So the one that's managed by Terraform stays, right? And this one goes. We're going to delete that. Bye-bye, Route 53. Oh, before you delete, what? Before you can delete, you must delete all okay, so let's go into this one. See, and this is why we don't like to do manual stuff. I like that. With all the kicking and screaming that we did, right, there we go. I repeat, not my blood, sweat, and tears, but we went kicking and screaming into Terraform, and we have success, all right? So let's get rid of these records. Oh, not DNS. All right, so this one and this one, I think we're going to delete that. That is from the older one, I believe. So get rid of that. We go back over here. We go here and we delete. So we have this over here. Let's make sure the site is still up. Why don't we? Whew, the site is still up. That was a close call. All right, that was a close call. All right. So let's go to code pipeline now. And this is still
Lunch break. Lunch break.
This is still terminating, but successfully terminated, right? So now if we go back to our environments, and this is gone, and we just have the one that we have running. Let's refresh one more time. Make sure it's still up. Whew, that's still up. All right, that'd have been like not what we were expecting, but we're still there. So that means we did our work correctly, right? And let me just go delete that last certificate. So before we go to break, and which one is being used right now? So this one is being used. So this one is probably the one that we created back then. Issued January 4th. So let's get rid of this one. And you see, like, it took us a long time to create it manually, and then it took us we have to go through a few steps to delete it manually. In Terraform, it's just Terraform destroy, and everything gets deleted. So we cannot do a Terraform destroy anymore, right? If we do, we're gonna have to comment out some stuff, and but it's the right way to do it, right? So let's delete that. And let's go to refresh. Cool. And let's check our site one more time. We're still there. We are still there. Whew. Okay. Good to go. All right. Now we can go to break. Oops. That's not what I want to do. Let's go to full screen. Cool. We're coming up on our last segment. We are going to start on MongoDB in our next one. So that is what we're doing in our next segment, MongoDB. Start up with that and see what we can do. And then we shall wrap it up for the evening I'm gonna have to reach out to one of my training partners to see if we're gonna go live tonight. If we do go live, it's gonna be around 8:30, but we're gonna be talking about jiu-jitsu. So all my tech people, if you we're just gonna talk about jiu-jitsu. I'm probably gonna go live on this channel and another channel simultaneously. Reviewing our competition from earlier this month, right? I wanted to do it like 2 weeks ago, but just didn't have the capacity. So we might do it tonight. I'll schedule it if it's gonna happen. Actually, let me text them right now. So let me see. Let me text the crew. See if we put our 5 minutes up though. 5 minute break, lunch break. Let's see. We are doing. And one more person. All right, there we go. So send the text out. We will see. And Mitch says, "You look like you have hidden moves." Hey, you never know. You never know. Like sometimes the lights have to come on like this, right? You never know. You never know what to expect. All right. So Bruce Ralph, maybe, or maybe it's Ralph Leroy. No, who knows? Who knows? All right. So let's yeah. So we'll maybe I might go live tonight. I hope I do, but just trying to figure out this stuff because this is the most important part for me, right? Getting this tech stuff out of the way, and I am so happy to have deleted all of these, to delete all this manual stuff, and I really want to get these spot instances figured out so I can save some money. All right, because I don't want my I don't want all the cash that I have stored in somewhere where I lay my head to be going towards Amazon, right? Just saying. I don't want all the cash where I lay my head to be going towards Amazon and for paying for my EC2 instances and my deployment and stuff like that, right? I want that to be, going towards trips to the Bahamas or something. Who knows? Anyways, all right, I digress. Oh my goodness, that's too funny. All right, let's look at LinkedIn. All right, let's look at LinkedIn. Someone hit me up on LinkedIn about software development. Let's take a glance of what's going on in software development. There's also this. I want to. I want to look up that stuff. Actually, I'm gonna pivot real quick. I want to look up the guy that was on the show with Joseph yesterday to see a little bit more about his site. I really wish I could have caught the show. I probably would have called in if I was there earlier to find out a little bit more about it. But let's see what this is about, right? Because so they were talking about Previewed. That's his company on the show yesterday. Don't just search for a job, preview it. So there's already an app that you can get. Oh, good, in the Google Store. All right, so I'm gonna probably download that after we're done. Your ultimate job search and hiring solution. Discover Previewed, revolutionizing the job search. Innovative job preview. Experience the future of job search with our immersive job preview feature. Let's see, empowering employees. Yeah, I watched it yesterday, like after I left jiu-jitsu, or while I was driving there, and then after I was done. It was really cool. It was really cool. The information that he was talking about. Your applicants display name, and it's interesting that they have it from both sides, right? So from the applicants and from the people posting the jobs. So figuring out how you would, I'm interested to see how they're going to bridge the two together. Like getting people to post on their site and then getting people to use it, right? Because like you can have a bunch of people who are you can have a bunch of people who are wanting to use it, but you don't have people posting on it. So you just got to figure that out, right? But I'm very curious to see how it goes. So let's just watch this together real quick. Only 41 seconds. Unlock your career dream or your dream career.
Move on, back to work. Chop, chop, let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work, back to work, back to work.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm gonna reach out as well because just to see like how things are going, and if you want, like if you're looking, this is the thing, all right, especially with startups, what you have to be on point with the quality. A lot of times people focus on like the UI, the UX and stuff like that, but I'll tell you this, with me, if I'm using like an app and something that should work outright doesn't work, right? And it's supposed to be like production and stuff like that. You're paying for it. I'll probably be like done with it, right? So seeing if I can tap in and find out like how they're doing things. Making sure that the quality is where it's supposed to be. So we'll see. Yeah, I heard that. It's like as soon as once I came on, based on Joseph reading my message, I was, oh yeah, you should probably connect. So I'm gonna try to reach out to him and just get a better understanding, because like you can only do so much like for like when you're talking about it for an hour or so, especially like managing the chat and everything like that. So I'm gonna try to reach out, get some more insight on it, and see like if there's any additional way I can tap in and help out with that. So awesome. All right, let's get into our last segment of the day, and then we shall move on. All right. So we'll be back tomorrow morning, of course. So we're going to set up Terraform we're going to do Terraform for MongoDB. So what is MongoDB first and foremost? MongoDB is a NoSQL schemaless database, and we're going to be using that for our application. And we are going to set that up via Terraform. So we're using Atlas, which is one of the database providers. All right, so let's take a look at. Let's put our last 20 minutes up.
It's time to do.
All right, so let's share this thing, right? So yeah, like I said, MongoDB is a schemaless NoSQL provider. So difference between NoSQL and SQL. The formatting, like it's like in JSON format, how it stores, and with NoSQL and schemaless, like it's pretty much the Wild Wild West. But you can define the schema in code, which is what we're working on. So this is how we are going to do it. So we need to sign up for an Atlas account. So let's do it together, right? So let's go MongoDB Atlas. They have like, I think they give you like a certain amount of free stuff to use. Let me see, because the stuff that we have now, it's super minimal, so we should be good. And then once if it does blow up, then we could probably get the sign up, or maybe we'll be doing serverless, right? I think it's not free or shared. We can do shared, and then move to serverless later on if we need. I don't know. From 10 cents per million, I might go with just this one instead of going with the shared, or because yeah. Yeah, I think I'll go with this one. Anyways, let's go ahead and sign up, right? But these are the type of decisions that you have to make when you are building stuff, optimizing costs, right? All these things matter. Let me sign up with Google. like when you're just jumping into this stuff and you're doing, like you see so many different things that um you come across, right? And like and that's why I really like just doing this stuff and figuring it out, you know? So we have our we have our account set up. Let's see if I'll leave that as we'll leave it like that for now. And we're on the free shared. Um, let's go to what is this? Invite to project. Now we got to figure this out too. Let's see. So there's some tabs. All right. So we need to create a key. And where do we do that in here? Let's see. Mm, Authenticator. Imagine here. Overview profile. Let's see. Is it MongoDB Atlas? This is where we were at before. Just say we create. What are we creating? If we click on create, shared for learning and exploring Mongo in a sandbox environment. So we don't want this one. Let's go with serverless, and we'll go here. I don't want to create it this way. I want to. I want to get my keys. So how do we do this? All right, so let's look. Generate MongoDB Atlas API key. All right, there we go. So grant programmatic access to API. API key has two parts, public and private key. You can't use the API key to log in Atlas through their user interface. To access Atlas, create an API key in an organization. All API keys belong to organization. So to manage your Atlas deployments and app services you can use. So where the heck is that? There's this part. All right. Data API. Let's see. All right, create API key. All right, so while I do this API key, I'm gonna go to full screen so you can't see it. And we're gonna say All right, so I am going to. So I got my API key. I'm going to place it in my var. So I'm just adding some stuff right now. I'm gonna call this variable. So uh, I'm calling it MongoDB Atlas public API key, and type is a string, and the default value is going to be the public API key that I got from here. And then we're going to do variable MongoDB Atlas private API key. And that's going to be type and also a string. And the default value is going to be the private key that they gave me here. And now we can leave this page. Actually, I need to put it in one more spot. One more spot. Let's go here. All right, we'll just say MongoDB key. All right, cool. So we have our key. Let's get out of this page. I'm going to edit the name of this project to rename project, 1 user, 0 team, all good. All right. Use tags to assign metadata to your project. All right, cool. Whatever. Okay, so now we are going to close this down. That was oh, okay. One last thing to finish. Let's get this out of here. And let's drop it in here. All right, so good. All right, so let's close that. Let's close that. All right, cool. So now we have our variables saved, and we want to start using Terraform to do it, right? So we are going to go with configuring this provider. And let's go to this on full screen now. So we are going to provider, and we're going to add another provider. And that's going to be MongoDB Atlas. And we're going to say, oops. And we're going to say public key is var.mongo. And we're able to do it as well via, which we'll probably end up doing later, but we should be able to do it through AWS secrets as well, which would be even a lot more secure to do it in there. But just to get started, today we're going to do it here, right? It's gonna be MongoDB Atlas public key, and private key is gonna be var.mongodb private key. Right? Simple as that. Boom, done. Now let's go to authenticate. So let's see if we do Terraform plan. So yeah, so we're here. We're going to authenticate the provider, right? We have this stuff stored. Do I need to do that? I might have to export it too. Okay, whatever. I'll try a Terraform plan. If it says I need to export it, then we'll do that. And then later, maybe in a couple of weeks, we'll do it in the AWS Secrets Manager, right? That would be pretty cool. To create IAM role. So yeah, this is gonna be like extra stuff to do later on, but let's do a Terraform plan. See what we get. And like Sharon, you see how like I'm putting in these keys and stuff like that. I think like part of the GRC and the cybersecurity, being able to set in place what are the best practices for the organization that they should follow and stuff like that is a big part where you would come in and understanding, okay, these keys are being put in and stuff like that. So those are for me at least. Those are some parts that the GRC part comes in where they're like, okay, the best practice would be maybe to use the AWS secret keys, right? You don't need to know exactly how to do it, but you need to know what these things are and like how do we do this in a more effective way, you know? So yeah, so just throwing that out there. Let's see. Did you intend to use MongoDB Atlas? If so, you must specify the source address in each module which requires that provider to see which modules are currently depending on HashiCorp run provider. Sure. What I can do is let's do it like this. Instead of moving the circle, I am going to go like that. And then I will zoom in a bit so it can be a little bit bigger. Code view. I'm gonna zoom in on this thing again. Never remember how to zoom in. Where's the zoom in? Let me know if you can see it. I was trying to zoom in, but I never can remember how to zoom in here. Never remember how to zoom in. But let me know if you can see it. All right, cool. All right, so let's go with Terraform provider. So required by providers required by state. Could not retrieve a list of available versions for HashiCorp MongoDB. Provider does the provider does not have a provider named registry. Isn't that what I copied from over here? Yeah, it is. Does it have to be like this, maybe? Hmm. MongoDB Atlas. And we need to do the Terraform and an upgrade. Oh, keep showing this. That's why I like the louder keyboard a little bit more sometimes because you have less typos on the loud keyboard. But let's see. So failed to query available provider packages. Let's do a Google search on that. Uh, The error message explains is most likely reason for seeing this error message upgraded directly from without running the Terraform. I don't think that's what it is. However, if you wish, then you can alternatively manually add the configuration blocks that would have inserted to specify that you intended to use. Where the heck does this go? To install AWS provider, copy and paste this command into your Terraform configuration, then run Terraform init. Range?
Lunch break! Lunch break!
That's so weird. So let's say we were to drop that line in here. Let's do the Terraform plan again. Do the Terraform init again. Let's see what happens. Okay, it looks like we're making progress. All right, cool. So here we are. We are initialized. If we do Terraform plan, do we need to export our credentials for MongoDB? So it's still the same thing, to be honest. But you're in a good spot. You know what? Let me see if I have to go. Give me. I'm gonna put on break and then just give me like just a few minutes. All right. Let's do, and I'll be back. I'll let you because I know I have something to do, but I might have a few minutes left. So give me just a second. Let's go to full screen. and I'm gonna go to 5 minutes break. And I will be back because I really want to keep working on this, but sometimes you gotta do stuff. So give me a second. Let's go to mm, I've got a few more minutes, so we can continue with what we're working on because we are getting close. Right, we have our providers configured. We have so now it's like, all right, what do we do to connect to Mongo? So is this thing still playing in the background? Hold on. Shut it up. All right, cool. Okay. So let's I'm gonna keep working for I think another 20 minutes will be good, right? Because we got pretty far. Um I'm going to continue with setting up the MongoDB. Um let me know, like, Sharon, let me know. Although let's say you're like you don't know the like all the technical stuff, right? But the things that you're hearing about, like databases, um, you know, credentials, keys, what comes to mind when you're hearing these different things? Knowing like of like the sector that you're going into. What comes to mind when you're hearing about credentials, keys, um, logins, SSO, stuff like that. Like, what do you like? What comes to mind? Yes, Mitch, we are back in action. So, let's just jump into it. Let's not waste any time, right? But yeah, I'm curious, like, what goes through your mind when you hear these type of things about databases? Because there's database hacks, there's credential hacks, there's so many different things that can happen. So, just curious about your thoughts, like where people store their data and stuff like that. Because when they say, this is the only time you're gonna get to see the key, put it somewhere. Where do people put their keys, right? So,
Let's go!
let's go for this last 20 minute before we are out for the rest of the day. Or actually, I might come back later, but we shall see. All right. Let me check don't have my phone here. I had to put it to charge. All right. We are looking at what am I looking at? We are looking at. I did a video on I am engineer back in like November, and that video took off like crazy. Um, People really liked that video. Uh, that's why I went. That's why I created the. I'm focusing on the GRC one now. To like give some more insight into that aspect, which I'm learning a lot from like creating those videos because I wasn't. It's like the funny thing is you end up you've like in my career I've been using GRC for my entire career, right? But it didn't have that name back in the days. Now it's like they're more refining it and defining it and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, so that's what I've been doing all this time, right? Yep, identity and access management. And it's funny enough because I use like I do a bunch of configuration for IAM all the time, but a lot of times you don't know the specific names and stuff like that, you know. And that's what the part where the certifications come in, where they tell like they teach you like the names and stuff like that. But I always say that having the practical experience and then tagging on the theoretical stuff sometimes is a lot easier to pick up on than the opposite direction where you have all the theory but you don't know how to actually do the practical application, you know. So it's a balance, of course. It's a balance. All right. We are looking at here, and we are going to. We got the provider done. So in the next coming weeks, we'll probably do this part over here where we're going to migrate the keys to AWS Secrets Manager. We had a video back like a few months ago looking into Secrets Manager. Um. All right. Assume provider configure the MongoDB Atlas to authenticate to AWS with secret. All right, so that's different. Static credentials. All right, so we have authentication done. Let's go to. So we're gonna create. So we're just gonna wing it, right? And let me see what Sharon said. Sharon said the first thing comes to mind is I have to research how to address the problem, if that makes sense. Yep. Definitely makes sense. All right. Let's go to. So we have this. All right. So now let's go to. I am going to create another Terraform file. And we're going to name that Poopy Pants database dot. So notice I named it just database, right? I don't want to name it MongoDB because of what if we change from Mongo at some point in the future, right? So I wanted to keep it agnostic to the provider and just have it as what its purpose is doing, what it's configuring. All right. So now let's see if we can do. How do we normally do it in here? We normally do resource. All right. So let's say resource. MongoDB Atlas. Serverless instance. All right, so we're going to say, how do we configure a MongoDB serverless instance? Let's give it a name, and we're going to call it PPQ. Probably have to go back and rename some of my stuff, but whatever. PPQ database. And let's go ahead and add the properties that are missing. Name, and so we're gonna call this provider setting backing provider. So name. Call that project ID. I don't have a project ID. Let me see. Oh, I do. Let's see. So I'm at this. But I do wonder if I should go straight to serverless. All right, so let's do a Google search. Terraform setup Mongo Atlas serverless. All right. And it's going to be, so do we have to go inside of it and set up the, okay. All right, let's see. So MongoDB server provides a serverless instance resource. It allows serverless instances to be created. Serverless instances do not support some of Atlas features at this time. For a full list of unsupported features, all right. Resources, MongoDB serverless instance, all right. Project ID, project name, provider settings. So I'm wondering if you have to create, I mean, if you have to create it first, then it would defeat the purpose, right? So let's see. MongoDB service instance and Mongo private resource have a circular dependency in some respects. That is, the serverless instance must exist before the private link endpoint service can be created, and the private link endpoint service must exist before the serverless instance gets its respective connections. Because of this, the serverless instance data source has particular value as a source of the connection strings private. When using the data source in tandem with the aforementioned resource, we can create and retrieve connection. All right. So I think this is the ID. And you know what? While I'm here as well, I am going to go ahead and make Sharon, because you are a amazing person and we're connected in a lot of different places. So I'm going to make Sharon a mod as well. So there you go, Sharon. You are also a mod on this channel. Thank you so much for always rocking with me. Shout out to Sharon.
I appreciate you.
All right. So let's continue. All right. So I think this is the ID right here, right? I think this is oh, it doesn't show up on the page, but in the URL. But mm, so this is the project, right? Maybe we can change this project to a serverless after the fact, but let's go ahead and put the ID. But the name is something that I'm not too. And I think that's the part of that shared tier. When it's not being used, they're gonna pause it for you, the free shared tier, because it's for learning, right? So there's no need for it to constantly be running. But we would want the our serverless to always be available, which we're going to have to figure out how to switch to that. Let me see, project support, project settings, time zone, Eastern time. Mhm. There goes the project ID. Okay, there goes the project. Okay, perfect. Project name. So let's go over here. Put that in here. Oops. Provider setting, backing, provider name. I have no idea what that means. Let's look at our documentation as we always like to do. Required cloud service provider on which MongoDB cloud provision the serverless instance. I don't think we have that yet. Let's see. Sharon says, Coach, why can't you name it yourself if you're creating it? Or did I miss? I could. I think I did name it myself, but that's why I'm trying to figure this part out right now, because I'm not too sure. But the project that I have when I set up this account here, it's I don't know. I'm not sure yet because the project is here, right? But at the same time, I'm trying to set it up with Terraform, which is the part that I'm not 100% sure what exactly is going on. So it might take some more research, but I don't know. It's something to figure out. Definitely something to figure out. This is my first time using MongoDB Atlas in the cloud, so it's gonna take some figuring out to do, but it is what it is. Provider setting backing. So let's say this would be like AWS. Let's see. But yeah, like I thought I was setting it up brand new, but I don't know. It's like asking for stuff that should already exist because I wouldn't have an ID yet. You know what I mean? But I think when you create the project, it should do it. I don't know. I really don't. I'm not sure yet. We're gonna find out though. Let's see. So we have all this, and this is all the places that it can integrate with. Allow Atlas alerts to post. Oh, that's gonna be pretty cool. I'll do that later. So we have our settings. I didn't save this. Really? Where do I save? Do I get to save it anywhere? I don't know. Anyways, let's see what else we got here. App service. Nope, it's not what I wanted. Let's see. Cloud service provider that applies to your provision server. But why would it be provisioned already? Is the part that's a little confusing to me. So let's see. I wonder if we can find a guide to this. Like, because the documentation is great, but sometimes it's better just have a guide. Set up MongoDB Atlas serverless via. I wonder if we're gonna have to like set it up manually first and then to. All right. So there goes some documentation here. So how to deploy MongoDB Atlas with Terraform on AWS. Perfect. All right. So create MongoDB. Okay, we did that part already. Generate keys. We did that part already. Add API key access list entry. So MongoDB API have specific endpoints that require an API access list. Creating an API access list key ensures all API calls must originate from IPs. All right, cool. So how much time? 4 minutes. All right, let's see how far we can get in 4 minutes. I think I closed the thing out though. Ooh, let me see. All right, let's go to. We go here and we go to. Should be already signed in, but okay. Are you serious? Should already be signed in. All right, there we go. So where did we get this? All right, we went to. Okay, so we went here. And then we went to. Let's change this real quick. All right. We went to Access Manager. We have our API keys. Let's go to. Create an API key. Create an API key. So MongoDB API can have a specific endpoint that require an API key access list. Creating an API access list ensures, as a good refresher, learn. All right, on the same page, scroll down and click add. All right, it's on the same page, this one. Let's see, go here, view details. Am I able to, on the same page, scroll down and click, if you are unsure of the IP you are running Terraform for, simply click use current IP. Set a billing method, I can see that after. All right, so use current IP. Oh, okay. So I couldn't get back. I can't get back to that page? Really? Okay, there we go. So next. Now access list. Use current IP. Save. Done. All right, we got that part done. So we keep going. And I'll drop this link in the chat for anyone who's interested in seeing it. Let's see. All right, All right, so now we have that. Set up billing, install Terraform. We got that part already done. Defining the Mongo. Defining Mongo Atlas provider with environment variables. I guess I could do that. So we got this. Defining the Mongo Atlas provider, creating variables, Atlas org ID. Atlas project name. Probably create. I'll create another variable file for. There's probably something we'll continue on next week, right? I'll probably create another variable file for. Okay, so cloud provider AWS, Atlas region, MongoDB version, IP address. The IP address used to access Atlas cluster, and the example below specifies the most current MongoDB version. Blah blah blah. Next, create a main.tf, which we'll use to populate together.
Lunch break.
Create the MongoDB project. So just scroll through this real quick before we wrap it up. MongoDB Atlas Okay, so you can create the project here. So let's just, yeah, we'll just scroll through this and then we'll see what we're going to get into next week, right? You can create the project here with the org name and the project name. Okay. Create a MongoDB Atlas username and password. Okay. Create database user, password. Create that. So everything that we're looking at over here, it looks like we can do it all through here. So I think that answers part of your question, Sharon. Like it, just just reading the documentation, we don't have to use what's being given to us. We're going to actually be creating all of that via here, following this. So following this guide, we'll be able to create all that stuff, right? To create MongoDB Atlas cluster. And we're going to do all this stuff. Cloud provider. So Mongo Atlas advanced cluster. Atlas cluster. Create Terraform outputs. So all the output of stuff, the connection string, the IP, access list, the project name, username, password. Make it sensitive so it doesn't show the information. Set up a private endpoint to your MongoDB Atlas cluster. So this, let's see. Let's see. To get started, we'll need to install. Okay, so we already have this stuff done. Let's see. AWS source. AWS region. We got most of this stuff already done anyways. For like, but we're just gonna have to do this stuff over here. So we get Terraform. Not too bad. Not too bad. We're not gonna destroy anything, but yeah, cool. So let's go to full screen. We have a good game plan up for next week, for next weekend, next Sunday, of how we're going to end up configuring our MongoDB. Because on this current sprint that my team is working on, we are creating the database schema that we're going to be using to add the quotes to the database. And so probably by our next coming sprint, we'll be able to connect to this database, and we can have our quotes stored in the database, and start working on being able to display the quotes based on what's in the database. All right. So that is the show for today. I already hear there are people who are waiting for me outside. So I just want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you guys had a great time and you were learning a lot with me. I'm still going to be looking into changing this to a spot instance, and we're going to continue next week on this Mongo stuff. So thank you so much for tuning in. I have a question for you before we go, but always before I forget, right? If you haven't done so already, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live. And if you need some one-on-one coaching, definitely go over to www.techcoachralph.dev where you can sign up for the Patreon. You can get access to exclusive content, exclusive live streams, as well as sign up for a higher tier where you can get one-on-one coaching, all that good stuff, right? So here's what we're going to do, right? Here's what we're going to do. I have a question for you as always, right? Remember, it is not based out of our blood, sweat, and tears. It is based off of hard work, right? Hard work, right? So the question is,
are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Are you not entertained, right? So always remember, yesterday's price is not going to be today's price forever, right? So as my good friend likes to say,
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Sunday afternoon and evening, and I will talk to you guys later. I'll see you guys in the morning as well. Remember, we are going live tomorrow morning, 7:15 a.m. Eastern time. Coffee and Kata. We're going to be working on Flutter. All right. You guys take care, enjoy, and you are very, very welcome as always, Sharon. Have a good one.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Hear me, warriors of the North. Today we have tasted the sweet nectar of victory. Our foes indeed defeated, and their lands are now bowed before us. The gods themselves have favored our glorious deeds on this glorious day. We have shed blood, sweat, and tears to claim this land. Our relentless spirit, our unyielding determination, these are the very essence of our people. Let's believe our ancestors rejoice in the halls of Valhalla. For today, we have added to their eternal glory. Our victories will echo throughout the ages, and our names will be etched in the annals of history. But let us not forget the price we paid, the brothers and sisters we lost. They now feast in the hall of our forefathers, watching over us with pride. Their sacrifice has paved the way for this moment of triumph. As we celebrate this conquest, let us also remember that our journey is far from over. More land awaits our conquest, more battles call us forth, and the fire in our hearts burn ever brighter, for there is no limit to what we can achieve. To those who dare stand against us, let them tremble in fear, for they shall witness the fury of the northern storm, the wrath of the untamed barbarians. Today we celebrate our victory. Tomorrow, we set our sights on new horizons, uncharted land where our banners will fly high. We are Vikings, we're barbarians, we are masters of conquest.